Isabella. Oh, she's been sniffing the air.
No, she cracks me up with the air sniffing. It's so funny. I smell bitch.
Hello, beautiful people. My name is Davi. I'm joined by Abe and Charlie. Welcome back to another Tony Tuesday.
Don't.
We're also joined by the beautiful Ruby. She's here. You're so pretty. You're pretty. And for our viewers and listeners, we hope you guys are doing well. Quick heads up, this episode is also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, specifically the discussion portion. So if you can't watch or listen to the discussion portion later in your day, listen whenever you want. Will be in the description. Wow. Y'all, Abe and Charlie, how you guys doing? Abe, how you feeling? How's the recovery going?
It's good, man. Went today for my first post-op. I can take the little pillow thing out, which was great because that thing was super uncomfortable, not gonna lie. And I only have to keep this for 4 weeks instead of 6. So all good.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful news,
Indeed.
man. Great
Yep.
to hear that.
Indeed.
Charlie, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm tired,
Tired?
sleepy,
Yeah.
but
Because you got a massage before this, and now you're just like,
yeah, I did. And
Can't blame you.
I get sleepy after that.
Yeah.
Ruby's licking the couch. I don't know what
She's-
it tastes like, but it's probably
Probably tastes amazing because she won't stop doing it. So.
nice.
Good for you, Ruby.
But before we get into this episode 12 of season 1, Isabella, Abe, can you read some comments from our previous Tony Tuesday?
Yes, sir. We got a lot of comments about Olivia because I think we spent some time talking about her. So I'll read this amazing comment first. This one comes from Andrew Jackson BR. Olivia feels powerless. Boy, are you guys off the mark. Does she have a motive? Jesus, you guys are thick in the head. Bro,
Dang,
you're
bro.
thick in the head. You
Bro,
are thick in the head.
You're thick in the head.
Thank you. It's interesting the way that people like perceive what we're talking about and whatnot. I think most of the people kind of understand our style and how we react to things, but we talk a lot about just like what's happening in the moment and how we're perceiving things. Obviously, we don't know what's happening in the following episodes and like how characters turn out and whatnot. All we can do is kind of speculate and talk about, but the powerless thing that we were talking about, I think mainly just came from looking at the character, the psychology of the character, like Olivia's background, talking about motive and whatever. We can only really talk about the things that we've seen. So that's where we're at. If we're off the mark, guys, like that's fine. At the end of the day, like again, we don't know what's happening in the next episode. So
Yeah.
We're off the mark in your hindsight view
Yeah.
because you've seen what's coming.
seen the
and
show.
We haven't.
Yeah.
exactly. So
So that's fine.
We're
We're gonna guess stuff that's wrong.
yes, we're going to keep doing that, just so
Yep,
you know.
100%.
And the purpose of this, when we discuss, is not so much to be like, oh, what's going to happen in the next episode, but just like understanding the psychology of the characters, trying to dig into like why they are the way that they are. And that gives us better understanding when we watch, more episodes and as we go deeper into the show. So
Yeah.
just addressing that comment. No hate to you, no hate to this person, but just addressing that. The next one comes from Catherine Rosian. It's sweet of you guys feeling sympathy for Olivia, but she's literally the worst. She's so toxic. See, Ruby even hates her. She's
He's like, no, I'm going to go under the table.
she's going under her.
How the heck did you make it through there?
Wow. That's impressive. Hold
That
on.
was
Let me
very
open the door
impressive.
for her.
Ruby had to leave because she wasn't here for the hate comments. I get it. Listen.
No, yeah. I get that.
I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit of a spoiler in the sense of like she just keeps being toxic. But I mean, you can kind of gather that from the character in general, and we understand that. I think the biggest thing is just trying to understand the why behind why she is this toxic character, and maybe there is no answer, but like digging into her past and what she has been like as a character and how things progress. And then the last one here, this was just addressing the stashing of guns and stuff in the nursing home or in the retirement community. Excuse me. This one comes from Talon Rock 1471. Capos aren't there to stash stuff. That was just something Tony did one time when they were under indictment. They put their mothers there so that they can have meetings behind Junior's back. Livia is aware of all of this. She's actually much smarter and devious than y'all think. Notice how she says to Junior, well, maybe it was you they were talking about. She puts on this innocent old lady act, but she's actively trying to pit Junior against Tony. Yeah. No,
Like, completely goes against one of the other comments that was like Livia has nothing, like no power, no nothing. Like,
Yeah.
and this person's like she's very manipulative. People are definitely conflicting over Livia's, power and
I think one way that I see it is like she has power but like it's hard to explain, but like her one power is manipulation of her family. Like that's the biggest thing, because she's this matriarch that people respect in a way, even though like they put her in a retirement community, whatever, like people listen to her, and that's very clear. Her power is that. But outside of that, like she feels a little bit powerless having to go to a retirement community, not being able to like take care of herself, or her family perceives her that way. So there's, you know, a little bit of balance of the two. Like she has some power, but not maybe the way, she's not respected as much as she thinks she should be, maybe.
Yeah, I think the way I also see it is like she's still trying to fight a way to keep, you know, some influence, her hand in business. Yeah. I think that's how I've seen it. But yeah, wow, we're gonna get into this episode. But first, y'all, thank you so much for the support on this video and the comments that we got. There was an awesome amount of just encouragement, and it really motivated us. And we love you guys so much. So thank you for subscribing, commenting, and liking our videos. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. We're almost at 2K. We're almost there, y'all. We love you guys. And Charlie, let's head into this episode.
How many episodes do we have left in this season?
In this
one
season,
more after this.
After this, one more. It's 13 episodes this season, except for the final season.
Oh, fire. Every season is
Every season's 13.
Okay.
Jimmy, how you doing, kid?
How many of these things we gotta go to? Brenda Fallone's mother at the kid's funeral, the way she carried on.
Fucking manners.
Just want you to know, I always thought you had that right, too.
Jimmy, let me tell you something. Don't worry about what I know.
Ooh.
Bada bing. Oh my God, the ladies have clothes on. That can make the clip.
What the f do you know about depression?
Nothing, I'm just saying, that's all. But he's sleeping all the time. He's not taking care of himself.
A lot of top guys had dark moods. And Napoleon, he was a moody f too.
He wasn't short.
I was literally about to say that. Did you know that? Napoleon is not short.
Oh, Tony, how are you fixed for sweat socks? We're going to be right by the Sports Authority.
That side eye, bro.
Tony?
That's me, bro, trying to sleep.
Will you let me sleep?
Did your lady therapist know about this? Maybe you need more medication.
She already got me on lithium and Prozac. What else you want?
Aromatherapy, something. This is not normal for a healthy adult male to take to bed like this.
My best friend, Pussy, has disappeared. He's probably fucking dead, okay?
Yeah, this downturn started long before Pussy Bump and Sarah disappeared. If you want me, I will be at the Paramus Mall getting your son a suit to wear to his first formal.
He's actually still missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Pamela, come on.
Sunlight is good for people, Tony. In Alaska, they wear these little light hats in the winter so they don't get depressed.
Is that true? I don't even know.
I have no idea. All I know is Alaska has like some of the highest rates of suicide and depression. So could be true.
You've been lying.
Oh, is that Isabella?
Must be.
She looks like an Isabella.
Yeah.
Right?
Suddenly, he's full of life. He can get out of bed. All it takes is a little Isabella.
She's lying.
Leads me to believe he wasn't taking his medication.
That's what I was thinking, which is a common side effect. You can get very depressed.
Oh, yeah.
When you're off of
Completely
your meds.
deregulates you.
She's a tiny tear.
You good, Tony?
Tiny tear.
This man is out of it, bro.
Jesus. Never mind. I guess Isabella didn't fix everything.
Oh, look at this.
Chucky and I spoke to Donnie P, and the thing is happening tomorrow.
That quick. Good.
Black guys, it'll never lead back.
What are they saying is going to happen tomorrow?
I think Tony getting whacked. Right?
Yeah, they're going after someone in the mob.
I think Tony.
Yeah.
God, what am I saying at this poor woman's wake?
Just wanted to let you know, that's all, so she didn't have to worry. Everything's taken care of about Tony.
See?
Oh, yeah.
It's going down on a newsstand that he goes to by the medical center.
Where he spills his guts on some fucking shrink's carpet.
Are they saying it's going to be outside Dr. Melfi's office?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jimmy Altieri was in the bin. Can't even look him in the face anymore. If he's wired, it's doing jack shit for the government, because all we feed him now is deliberate bullshit till we can, you know.
Don't do nothing about Jimmy. I don't even know if he's the guy that flipped.
Bro.
He's second guessing himself. He knows.
Yeah, he does. He's struggling.
You going somewhere, T? You want me to drive you?
No. Going downstairs.
What are you gonna do?
Gonna get my pants out of the fucking dryer, okay?
Oh my God, he's so worried. Hey, he's dressed.
Well, yeah, because Isabella.
My God. Brother. My brother in Christ.
Yo, the wind blew that hella far.
That's
There.
what I'm saying. That's crazy.
She walked over and sang.
Hello.
Hi.
Is this yours? Found it in the yard.
Oh, no, really?
Thought the Cusamanos were away.
Yeah, they went in Bermuda to play golf.
Oh, is she house sitting?
Gotta be.
You're from Italy, aren't you?
My English is pitiful.
No.
Use the word pitiful, bro. It's not bad.
Your English is better than my Italian. Principles of oral surgery?
I'm a student. I'm here as a part of an exchange program between our two countries.
Well, if my dentist looked like you, I'd stay awake doing a root canal.
Thank you for bringing me, come si dice, biancheria? I don't know how to say in English.
That makes two of us.
That was strange. Interesting.
Yeah.
If Carmela catches you, Barry.
Carmela's at the mall, bro.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, a pair of panties just floats away into his backyard.
Again.
And Carmela catches it. She's like, whose panties are these?
That's him.
Bro, this man looks like
Here we
he's
go.
struggling to stay alive, like stay awake.
Let's do it.
Oh, shoot.
Whoa.
Oh.
Christopher.
Donuts. No wonder he can't lose weight.
Yo, sir, excuse me.
What?
Could you pull forward so we can get out?
Yeah, give me a minute.
Police department.
Where's your badge?
Man, I said move this piece of shit f***ing now.
Get the f*** out of my face.
I was wondering how he was going to get out of this.
Let Soprano get his donuts. We're gonna pop him when he gets out.
He is not there for donuts.
Ah.
Oh.
Back entrance into therapy?
And they don't know that, huh?
Jesus, Junior.
What the hell?
Jesus Christ, how the hell could it not have gone down?
I know, Junior. I'm sorry. Some civilian got in the way of something. Donnie will explain it to us. He's around the corner. He got lost.
I wanted it to be over.
Junior's such a baby, bro.
What is he throwing up over the thought of the whole thing?
I'm assuming so, yeah.
I hear Tony has his own mother wants some pop.
You think that's funny? A guy's own mother?
Okay. Tomorrow.
Fucking A.
Yikes.
I don't like it. This f***ing guy's big mouth.
No, he's okay.
I don't like it. Next he'll be making jokes about me.
Tell him to wait a minute.
He's going to call it off.
No, they're gonna pop him.
Hey, hold on a minute.
Donnie! Sorry!
Yeah, see?
They called it off.
I'm going to try to find somebody else.
Yeah, man, the old school mob mentality. Oh, he looked at me funny. All right. Boom.
That's Junior.
Yeah.
Are you still taking the lithium?
Lithium, Prozac. When's it gonna end?
We're trying to give a jolt to your system. Give it a little kickstart. What you're going through is very painful. I know that.
You get stabbed in the ribs. That's painful. This shit, I don't feel nothing. Nothing.
That's a great line.
Dead. Empty.
What else?
What?
What were you just thinking about then?
Isabella.
Gorgeous piece of coos. It's next door to Cusamanos. Staying there while they're away.
So you do feel something.
Like fucking King Midas in reverse here. Everything I touch turns to shit. I'm not a husband to my wife. I'm not a father to my kids. I'm not a friend to my friends. I'm nothing.
Do you think it would help if you went someplace so you could rest up a while?
Maybe like a hospital with the padded rooms and the straitjackets?
No straitjackets. A residential treatment center.
You got any idea what my life would be worth if certain people found out I checked into a laughing academy?
Laughing Academy.
I'm gonna push the Prozac to 60 milligrams.
Sure, why not?
Hey, is that you?
Ciao. Look who's here.
I was just talking about you.
Something smells fishy about this.
I know, bro.
Let me ask you. Sandwich. It says he's a hero. Why do they call a sandwich hero?
You don't want to eat that.
No?
No. What's your name?
Isabella.
I'm Tony.
You never went in Italy.
No.
Why not? You don't want to go?
I guess I just never got off my ass.
Man, took her to a fancy ass restaurant.
And where are you people from? Wait a minute. Don't tell me. Avellino?
How'd you know that?
I didn't. I guess so. You look like this guy from there. He came after the earthquake to repair the seat of the house. Fundamenta. Do you understand?
Foundation.
Foundation was cracked, and he repaired the stone.
My grandfather was a stonemason. He was Avellinese, him and his brother.
You should visit Avellino if your family come from there. There isn't too much left because of the many earthquakes. It's a wine bar. You can sit. You can see the hills.
This is where he's going to go away.
You can smell the blossom from the lemon tree. And there is a church with a bell. When it rings, that means that a baby was conceived in the town. È un posto pacifico e tranquillo.
Antonio.
Oh man, this man's daydreaming.
No way, bro.
Is he thinking about running away with her or something?
Yo, Tony, thinking about living the
It's like
simple
Barry,
farm
man.
life.
It's like Barry. Yeah, it's like Fuchs.
Yeah, Fuchs too, yeah.
Tony, are you on medication?
No. No.
Wonder why she asked that.
It was like spacing out.
He's also drinking, which I don't know if he's supposed to do on.
No, you're not.
Anthony, what does a gentleman do for a lady? In his own house? Okay?
Jesus.
Thank you, young man.
Respect your grandma, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta tuck the seat in now, bro. What the hell?
Tony!
Oh my God.
What an entrance. What a freaking entrance.
Look who's decided to join us. And with that breath.
You know, I really don't need that right now, Ma.
Oh, aren't we being sensitive?
Where's Uncle Joe?
Said he wasn't feeling well.
Do you know in its lifetime the average American chicken's feet never even touch the ground? That's dicked up.
You know, and use that kind of talk, I'd slap your face.
Tell him, Livia. For once, I'm on her side.
My son's in the bathrobe. Is he sick?
He's fine.
Dad, you're depressed.
Depressed. My father came to this country.
Oh, here we go.
With 17 cents in his pocket.
I'm going back upstairs.
I was making a joke. Oh, yeah, I suppose it would be better if I never opened my mouth.
Here she goes again with that.
Oh, I mean, this is really the last time. I am never coming back to this house.
Yo, the drama, bro. The absolute drama.
Bro.
Go, superhero. Go. Go, Superman. Go.
What a day with this wind, huh?
I'm telling you, the wind is blowing extra hard today. Just look.
She about to look for herself, my guy, you idiot.
Oh.
Who's she?
Dental student from Italy.
You know her.
Wrong answer, Tony.
We had lunch.
Oh my God.
Lunch?
This is interesting.
You fucking piece of shit. Going out to dinner with you is a distant memory from me, but you have time to take her to lunch? You are sinking this whole family into your misery with your wallowing and your complaining while I spoon feed you and bathe you. All it takes is a half inch of another woman's thigh to get your ass out of bed. What am I, a fucking idiot? If I had an ounce of self-respect, I would cut your dick off.
Damn.
She's not wrong.
Yeah, I'm dead that he said something.
About the earthquakes, talking about the earthquakes in Italy, and it's the winds in this episode. Is there something there?
Oof. Dead now, motherfucker!
You hit him?
Shark's
Oh,
Fry.
there you go.
Space hanging off the
Oh, no.
Yo.
God, Tony, are you all right? Is he all right? Jesus Christ, Tony.
Daddy, your ear's all bloody. What'd they do to your ear?
Just putting in a few stitches to create a nice closure.
Oh, Jesus, we were so scared.
They almost killed you for a stupid car.
I guess nobody told him about the kind of gas mileage that thing gets, huh, Ed?
Uncle Joe has that same car. It's pretty shit gas
Yeah,
mileage.
the Yukon.
Yeah.
Yay, police.
People can't wait till I finish sewing my ear back on.
Face it, Tony. 1 inch to the left and you're down in a drawer instead of talking to me.
What's he doing here?
Oh, Agent Harris is just leaving.
We're offering your husband full immunity from prosecution in return for any testimony that he might give us. Relocate you and your family. You'll be completely safe, all of you.
Hey, don't talk to my wife.
So he wouldn't have to go to jail either.
Carmela, ask this prick if I'm even indicted.
This assassination problem is not going to go away. I think both of you realize that.
I told you to stop talking to my wife.
We're the only option you have left, Tony. It's not safe for you anymore in the streets or in jail.
This conversation is over.
What do you mean it's not safe? What do you know?
He doesn't know anything. It was a fucking carjacking. Now get out of here. You're upsetting my wife.
In case you change your mind.
How does he know that they were trying to kill him?
So maybe he knows that.
Assassination attempts.
Even if he does, like he doesn't know anything. He's using this to pin him to talk. Like he doesn't know anything that's actually going on.
Yeah.
Because how the hell in his mind would he figure out that Junior's trying to assassinate him? He probably thinks it's somebody else or whatever. But he's using this as a way of trying to get Tony to talk.
As leverage.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Did you ever tell anybody about me going to see Melfi?
Is that why they tried to kill you? Because you're seeing a psychiatrist?
What are you talking about? It was a carjacking.
At least have the decency not to lie to me.
What do you want to do, Carmela? You want to move to Utah? Be Mr. and Mrs. Mike Smith?
This is our chance to get out, Tony. We could start a whole new life. You know what I want, Tony? I want those kids to have a father.
They got one. This one. Me. Tony Soprano. And all that comes with it.
Oh, you prick.
Go. Probably I can't go to that dance now either. God, self-involved much? They shot my dad.
He's all right, though, isn't he? Take more than a Jamaican bobsled team with cap guns to stop your old man.
I'm so dead.
Yeah, they came in walking with like
they knew something.
Full authority and everything.
Or they're like trying to get to the bottom of this or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
However, one of his assailants, William Johnson Petit Claiborne, was fatally wounded in the attack.
How could this happen?
I don't figure, no. He's gonna look for who did this to him.
Anthony, well, of course he is.
Livia, you understand what's going on here?
My son got shot, and he got away.
What do we do now? What the f do we do now, Livia?
We go see him.
Tony?
Of course.
Y'all look dumb, bro.
There goes Livia calling the shots again.
Yeah.
I know.
Junior
What
was
do you
like,
want me to
literally
do?
Like, what do we do?
Do we know who they are yet?
The live one took off in a Taurus.
Taurus.
Yeah, Mooley's in a new Taurus.
Oh, he saw it.
He's gonna remember because they came up to him.
Yeah.
What?
These guys I had a beef with at the newsstand.
You were there?
Not yesterday, the day before.
The newsstand? The one in Montclair?
Yeah, I was in the neighborhood.
What were you doing there?
Taking my mother to the doctor.
Oh.
Good thinking, Christopher. Finally, you're using your brain.
This husband of yours, Carmela, how much we love him. Mwah. He's the best. Come on.
He's like a father to me.
Make sure nothing happens to him.
Silvio.
It had to be your uncle, right?
And guess who's at the door?
Maybe he found out.
Oh, what?
He's Joe Jerkoff, not the boss. You know that you've been running things behind his back.
I got Mikey Palmiche, all my crew out there, cracking heads to find out who did this.
Well, we're done with them. You know, wish they were never born.
Tony?
Look who it is. Father in Tintola.
I came as a friend.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Right.
Why don't you grab a sandwich and we'll talk later? I mean, you're sleeping over, right?
Is this a move? Yeah, I was gonna say.
I knew he was going to say some crazy shit.
I was gonna say, do you feel like this is a move? We haven't seen him in a long time, and now that she caught him looking at another woman,
Could
to
be.
her lunch, the priest shows up.
I thought for sure it was him, but there he is, glasses and all.
Tony Gabagool, Grandma. It's nothing but fat and nitrates.
Gabagool, over here.
Who is that?
Who?
That girl.
Who, Meadow?
Who is she? Is that Conchetta?
That's your granddaughter, Meadow.
Oh, some signs of Alzheimer's there potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, dementia, Alzheimer's.
Interesting. Very interesting.
What?
What's going on here?
So I'm assuming like third party place where nobody else knows where they can meet and have a therapy session.
Would make sense. And doing it not in broad daylight.
Right.
I gotta know something. I want the truth. Did you ever tell anybody about you and me?
I may have mentioned something to my immediate family that I had a patient who was in some trouble with all the stuff we were hearing about in the news. I never mentioned a name or any other specifics that could identify you as that person.
Yeah, but at the dinner table, they were all saying Tony Soprano. Like, they know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they never specifically mentioned his name. So, like, that was her patient.
I think they did. Didn't they?
I don't know. I don't remember exactly. I don't think they did, unless she's lying.
How are you doing with all of this?
To tell you the truth, I feel pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet.
Talk about a jolt to the system. Try getting shot at. It'll give you a nice kick start.
That whole occurrence ought to get rid of his depression.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was depressed, I said I didn't want to live. Well, I'll tell you something. I didn't want to die. Every fucking particle of my being was fighting to live. I had lunch with that girl next door, you know. She was telling me about Avellino, where my people are from. Sounded nice. Anyway, she was talking, and all of a sudden, we went to another place, like, in my mind's eye. I don't know, we went back in time to, like, 1907 or something. And we were in this room, and she had this baby. She was holding it, you know, on her breast. She was nursing it. She was whispering to it, like, it's okay, little baby. Don't cry. It's gonna be okay. I love you.
Except for the baby's name.
Baby have a name.
There we go.
She was calling it Antonio.
Anthony, your fantasy, that's you, that little baby. And Isabella, that she was nursing you.
Oh, me.
Time's up.
He's going to the dance after all.
Yeah. Oh, Anthony Jr.
Got a date and everything.
I got,
Oh, yeah.
I got security detail.
Can we get some of that whiskey?
What the hell is going on, Livia?
Look and see if my slipper is over there.
Just slipper.
I don't like that talk.
What was that bullshit yesterday? You don't even recognize your granddaughter?
I've been forgetting things lately. You'll find that it'll happen to you soon, too.
That's terrific timing. Right after the move on your son goes in the toilet.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He thinks she's faking it so that she pretends like she doesn't know about the whole hit on Tony
Yeah.
and everything.
Well,
she could be.
This is what I've been wondering.
She's smart. She's smart.
This is what I've been wondering is like, did he ever explicitly tell Olivia, like, I'm going to go out and, like, kill Tony? Like, I'm going to have someone kill Tony.
He inferred it in that previous episode, and she got emotional over it. And she was
No,
like,
I think
"Oh,
she
me and
knew.
my big
I think
mouth."
she knew. She
knew.
knew.
No,
She
no,
knew.
I
He
think
was
she
like,
knew.
he was like, oh, if this was happening, you know what I ought to do. And then she was like, I don't like that kind of talk. Blah blah blah. And
Right,
she was starting
exactly.
to cry. She was like, why did I even open my big mouth?
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like she technically can claim that she was never a part of this, but like she's so like on the fence and like plays both sides of every coin. It's kind of, she's crazy.
I mean, yeah, either she actually is starting to forget things or she's using that to her advantage, that excuse to her advantage.
Right.
Yeah.
So where's your dental student?
Oh no, she's gone.
Where's my what?
Isabella. Haven't seen her in a couple days.
Oh, he was freaking
hallucinating.
Isabella, dark hair, beautiful.
Tony, I got no idea what you're talking about.
You didn't have an Italian girl. She's here studying the...
We had Skippy Palumbo from down the street come into the house to take care of the dog.
Never mind.
Okay, so they did go away, but she wasn't real.
But Carmela
saw her.
Yeah. What?
Nah, something fishy is going on here.
You think he's messing with Tony too?
You're not pulling my leg.
What am I, an idiot? Of course I'm
See?
sure.
Someone planted her. Bro.
No.
Okay.
Someone planted
Frankly,
her.
I think I've said enough about it. I never threatened to cut your dick off.
Oh, she never
said,
did.
Said never trying to cut your dick off.
Oh, so he did imagine it.
He imagined the whole thing, I guess.
Wow.
Even the interaction with Carmela.
No way.
Hello?
Yeah, it's your patient.
What's wrong?
There was no Isabella.
What?
There was no Isabella. I just talked to Cusimano. Him and Who's just got back from Bermuda.
Side effect from the meds.
Dental exchange student that's staying at your house. He looked at me like I was fucking Ubats.
But you said that your wife saw her, that you both argued about it.
Yeah, I asked her about that. You should see her now that I told her the whole thing was just a fantasy.
Discontinue the lithium.
I already flushed it.
Even if it was the medicine, this fantasy of yours has meaning. You know, the issue of mother and child, the Madonna. Did you ever flirt or come on sexually with Isabella?
No.
Why not?
Mm.
It was very beautiful and voluptuous. Another question. Why now?
What do you mean?
Why the need for the fantasy of a loving, caring woman now?
I don't know.
I think you should come in so we could talk face to face.
I can't right now.
You know, your mother is always talking about infanticide.
Yeah, it's a sad situation that goes on in the world.
Are you still feeling okay?
I feel pretty good, actually. When I find out who took a shot at me, I'm gonna feel even better.
Dr. Melfi is going to put the pieces of the puzzle together for him, I think. That's what it seems like. Okay, so then Carmela bringing the priest was not a play either.
No.
She was just bringing him in.
Say some sort of blessing or whatever.
Exactly.
So he really said that out of pocket. That's crazy.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa. What a turn of events. I think back in my mind, I was like, yo, I think he's hallucinating. But I think to get that reveal at the end was top notch in the way they developed it. But I want to start off with Charlie. What do you think the significance of Isabella was in this episode for Tony specifically?
Yeah, I think Dr. Melfi kind of
spelled it out for us.
Yeah, she spelled it out for us. It's like he's going through this whole time of depression and, you know, him almost losing his life. You know, people are out to get him, and it just feels like he needs like a motherly figure or like a supportive womanly figure for him in that moment, to care for him, nurture him, that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's what she represented, even if she is, you know, just him hallucinating off of drugs that Dr. Melfi prescribed. So, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think about that as well?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with his relationship with his mom. And again, this is every time this subject comes up in therapy, like Tony strays away from it. So she's like very clearly being like, yo, pay attention. Like this beautiful woman who you looked at and like you didn't have any sort of sexual advances towards her, nothing. You see her like nursing you as a baby. Why do you think that is? It's like you're longing for that because your relationship with your mom is so messed up, especially in your depression. So I think that you know, makes a lot of sense. And her point about like, why now is this happening? I think like his relationship with his mother has only gotten worse, especially after the episode at the dinner table, where she's just kind of calling him out and being like, you know, my grandfather came here with, you know, 17 cents and whatever and all that shit. And he just wasn't having it. And, you know, at that moment he needed nurturing and nobody is nurturing him. You know what I mean? Not his wife, or it feels like not his wife anyway. Not his mother. So that was the fantasy. It's like a mother to nurture him.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And then do you think with these sessions that he's having with Dr. Melfi and what just went down this episode, you guys are thinking that Dr. Melfi is going to puzzle the pieces? And Charlie, you're saying that Dr. Melfi is going to figure out the pieces and maybe it's going to maybe give hints that Tony's going to find out that Junior was plotting against him? You think that's what it's going to lead to?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I feel like what she was saying at the end there was kind of, hinting at that. She was kind of like breaking down the aspects of everything. Like, why are you feeling this way? Why are you seeing this woman? Blah, blah, blah. So I feel like maybe part of it will be developing that a little bit. We'll see. I don't know.
I felt like that was just more pointed because anytime she tries to bring up his mother, he like refuses in therapy, and they always go away from it. And he refuses to make his mom look like a bad person in therapy. So she was trying to get him to come to the conclusion because he's having this fantasy. He's telling her about it. She's like, okay. So why?
She's like, actually come into the office and we can figure this out.
Exactly. And that's exactly why, because she was like, this is the breakthrough that you've been needing to have. Right. So that's the part that I was like, she's very much just trying to get him to understand his relationship with his mother and why he's having this sort of fantasy. He's lacking in that aspect, so he is fantasizing about it to kind of fill that void that he feels.
And at the beginning of the episode, we got that monologue from Tony when he was in that session with Dr. Melfi, talking about how he feels empty. The main aspect of that session was him, not finding a purpose. It felt like he had no purpose. And at the end of this episode, when he went through that attack, he felt a purpose in life again. He felt rejuvenated. Abe, what do you think the significance of, starting from, the beginning of this episode towards the end where Tony got that, I don't know, that healing again? Do you feel like he was healed in a sense because he had a basically life and death situation?
Yeah, I think there's a couple layers to it. I think firstly, it's like he needed something to feel alive, and like that was the one thing that could make him, like a lot of people describe being close to death makes you feel the most alive. So I think that was part of it. He had this like near death experience, and now he's like kind of waking up and got that jolt to the system that he's talking about. And I think there's a little bit of like, what is my purpose, and that his emptiness that he was describing and all of that. And I think that this moment that happened, very clearly showed him like, what is my purpose? Like I was fighting tooth and nail not to die. Like I still have a family. I still have people that I care about. I'm still in this business. I care about him, the boss, all that. So for me, it was a little bit of both, where the physical action of like being like shot at like makes you like the adrenaline and all that, and then a little bit of like perspective of being close to death and what that actually means.
And I don't know like TV history on when this was aired and the impact of this, but the significance of starting this episode in Tony's shoes, where your main protagonist is depressed and is in bed and is clearly just out of it.
In a very serious
way. And I think to showcase that to a mainstream audience, I think at the time it played a huge role into, I don't know, mental health in men and how like, how it's perceived and everything. And I think it started a discussion on, shoot, this happens to everyone.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously we weren't around we weren't watching the show at the time that this came out and everything, but a lot of what they did was super accurate, just in like my own personal understanding of mental illness and everything. Like him just being in bed in the same clothes, like whatever, all that's like very stereotypical. But the big thing that I clung on to was she was like, this is very painful for you. And he was like, pain is when you get stabbed or something. And he was like, this, I feel nothing. Like I feel numb. And that is depression. Like depression is when you feel like complete emptiness and like indifferent and whatever. It's not so much like, oh my God, you're sad. And that's like the big misunderstanding, I think, right? Is like you have to have something to be depressed about. And that's why Livia's conversation is being like, what does he have to be depressed about? It's like, no, bro. It's like he clearly feels just empty and numb and like nothing matters. And that's a whole different thing than being sad about something. So I thought that conversation for this time, super ahead of its time in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It was just to see that process and how they showed it. I thought it was very accurate. And this came out in the late 90s?
This is 99.
Yeah, 99. Like the significance of that, I think, must have been incredible to see, and also started, I think, some very uncomfortable conversations. Charlie, what from from Junior's point of view, we saw moments of him getting very sick and, preparing for, what he was going to do to Tony. What do you think stood out from Junior's character in this episode to you?
I think just his lack of leadership in a way, and kind of him just being soft as well. I know it's like he puts on this persona of like, I'm the big boss. I'm, even if it's family, I'm going to whack them, this, that, the third. But he kind of showed a moment of softness there and kind of weakness, just throwing up over the idea of everything. Like he's lucky, I think, that it's Mikey, right? I feel like Mikey's like just kind of afraid of Junior and everything like that. But
I think Mikey's a psycho.
And that too. But like if it had been any other, person that follows him, they could have looked at him as just weak. I don't know. That's how I feel.
I see it as like for me, is like the fact that he was actually gonna kill like blood relative, like his literal nephew.
Yeah, it's both things.
Was very just like you can get sick over the fact that you're doing something like that. I see Junior personally as like quick-tempered, short fuse, resorts to violence as the first course of action for every single type of thing. Like we go back to earlier in the season when we see, he had a feud with somebody and he's trying to whack somebody in Artie Bucco's restaurant. Like this to me is a very similar parallel. He has a problem with somebody and his automatic response is to whack them. Granted, like what's happening now is like to him, and rightfully so, is the biggest kind of form of disrespect, right? Like Tony running things behind his back and he is the boss. Like that for him doesn't stand. But he could resort to conversations. He could resort to trying to find out more information before he just decides all of a sudden he's going to whack Tony. Yeah. That's my biggest thing, is I think Junior is just like, he's too quick to make rash decisions.
Yeah. I just think he's clinging on to the title, and because he knows that I have the power, so I'm going to do it, but not realizing that everyone who is around his mob, he has a core group of guys. Tony has a core group of guys, but I think Tony's core group of guys are in agreement that he should be at the top versus like
everybody outside of Junior's circle.
Everyone outside of Junior is like, yo, you can't run this. No. Tony runs this.
Because of reasons like this, because he's way too quick to resort to violence and to whacking people. Like, bro, there's so much heat on the mob already right now. Like we've seen so much of the police investigations, like pending indictments and whatever. Yeah. People flipping, ratting, whatever. The last thing that you need is more heat, like coming and killing more people and just, creating more attention to you. That's my personal, the way I see it anyway.
And we're seeing Livia flip-flop, doing her manipulations. And it's kind of looking like that scene where she had with Junior towards the end, where Junior confronts her and is like, bro, what are you doing? And also there was a moment where he was screaming at Livia. He's like, what do I do? Tell me what I need to do. That was very interesting, because it goes to show that I think Junior has sometimes he's very conflicted and he's leaning on to someone who's not in the mob to make decisions.
And this is the big thing, right? Going back to the point that Charlie made, this is where I think he can be seen as weak. Yeah. Because if people can find out that he is basically, all of his decisions and the big moves that he makes comes from conversations with Livia, people are going to be like, bro, you're no boss. Like, you're literally letting a old lady who's like early stages of Alzheimer's or dementia, like, help you make decisions. Yeah. That's crazy.
Who's holding on to grudges.
Who has a very like unstable relationship with her son, who's also, a capo.
It's like, how do you not see the red flags here, bro? Like, wake up.
Right. And I think that's why he reacted negatively to, the guy saying, well, Tony's own mom wants him dead, kind of thing. That's why I think he reacted negatively, because he was like, no, it's me. He wanted to be like, in his head, I'm the one who wants him dead. Has nothing to do with Livia, blah, blah, blah. But if people know behind the scenes, they realize Livia's influence on it and how much power he has.
I want to go back to this because I think there's more to dissect from this ending here, where Dr. Melfi is
talking to him on the phone.
Exactly. Look at that line. She says, "You know, our mother is always talking about infanticide." And I looked up what infanticide means.
Infanticide means the killing of their child.
Killing of infants and offspring.
Yeah.
But I don't know what she means by our mother. Is she talking about Mary? Like,
no, I'm not saying. I think the caption's wrong. Your mother.
Oh. Well,
yeah, no, because she said on the dinner table where she talked about a mother who shot 3 of her kids and then burned the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe it's a similarity to that. It's calling back to that. I don't know.
Could be.
I just want to hear what she says real quick because I want to make sure that the caption's not.
Your mother is always
Your mother.
Yeah, your mother. Yeah, so the caption's wrong.
So because
Let
remember
it
Meadow
play for a second?
because remember when she brought up that story, Meadow was like, "Oh no, here she goes again."
Right.
So it's a thing that's repeating every occasion. So it makes me wonder, Dr. Melfi is right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
So
and Tony refuses to acknowledge.
Yeah.
Well, here he is almost. Look at the look on his face, and he's also saying like, "Yeah, that's a really sad thing that happens in the world." And he's like,
but he's brushing it off.
Yeah.
But don't make no mistake.
He
He's
is
brushing
it off, but she's calling him to a face-to-face because I think she's realizing like, hey, your family is out to kill you, bro. Like, you need to come in here. We need to dissect this and really see what's going on.
It could be. In my mind, I mean,
I don't think she's puzzling towards that. I just think
I
she's
agree.
trying to just look at it from the outside lens and figure out basically figure out who Tony's mother is to then figure out who Tony is.
Yes. What I think could happen, what I think potentially could happen if Tony goes and has this conversation, he could and sees Dr. Melfi's side of things, he could come to the realization of, holy shit, my mom might have a role to play in this. I don't think Dr. Melfi would ever insinuate that.
No.
Or like be able to puzzle that, make those puzzle pieces come together. But I think that if he does like finally see that his relationship with his mother, he might not be so blind to the fact that she is playing a role in him almost getting whacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that line is intentional, very intentional, because she asks him to come in face to face, and he's like, I can't right now. And she says, you know, your mother's always talking about infanticide.
Yeah, it could be. Like, but I'm just like, what inside information does she have to be able to say, like, oh, your mom's the one who's plotting to kill you? You know what I mean?
The inside information that she has is their therapy sessions. He has confessed so many things to her and has let her know about, you know, the ideas that his mom has, that Junior has, the relationship that they have with each other. And that's how she knows that she always talks about it.
So tell me what you're saying. Are you saying that she wants him to come in to be able to have a breakthrough and be like, do you think it's your mom who's having you like potentially be whacked?
I don't think it's going to lead direct to be like, oh, is it your mom? But I think it's her bringing him in to then analyze it and be like, someone within your family circle is after you.
Yeah, it could be. I personally don't see it that way. But I think I see it as we're splitting hairs here. We really are. I think we're literally right on the same. We're similarly aligned. I just think him going in would potentially lead him to understand that. But I don't think Dr. Melfi is the person that's gonna say, "Oh man, do you think your mom is the person doing?"
I think
this?
he'll come into a realization because of those sessions with Dr. Melfi.
Right.
That's exactly
how
what
I'm seeing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're all on the same page.
There we go.
We're just all saying it different ways. Yeah.
Okay, so we saw the conversations that Tony was having with Isabella. Maybe it was like an internal conversation with himself. I don't know, but there was a moment that really stuck out to me where she was talking about the earthquake in Avellino, and then a couple scenes later, it's very windy in Tony's town, and I'm just trying to figure out was there any parallels there, any significance that stood out to you in that, or maybe I don't know. Maybe it was a call that
seems like you have some parallels. So how about you?
I know. I just think the way I saw it was like, she's talking about these earthquakes, and then a couple of scenes later, it's very windy, and I don't know.
I don't see earthquakes and wind correlated.
Yeah, I don't either.
The way I'm seeing it,
I just think I just felt it was building up to like family foundation
could be
getting destroyed. That's how I saw that.
That's fair.
The way I'm looking at the whole wind thing is the fact that she's not real. She was like basically a ghost.
Yeah, but the wind that we saw was with Junior and Livia in the movie theater. Like they were standing outside the movie
maybe
theater.
I'm just like
No. Yeah. The wind is there. It's happening.
Right.
But you see her in the wind.
You do.
Setting up her tent, trying to fix it and all that stuff. And I think that's just to signify like she doesn't exist. She's a ghost. It's just a breeze
I agree.
passing by.
I agree.
You know, that's kind of how I saw the wind in this episode.
What I saw with I do think you were right in the sense that he's kind of having this conversation with himself in a sense when he's like talking to Isabella and whatnot. And, all these things like Avellino, why would it be a place that he knows exactly where it is and exactly where his people are from? She talks about
foundation in the house.
Well, think about it. You look like this guy who fixed the foundation of our house. Oh, my grandfather was a stonemason. Yes, it's the same dude. Like it's all very connected, and it's like him trying to find some sense of comfort. And it's almost like he's having this conversation with his mom, being like, it's almost like he's imagining what a loving conversation with his mother would be like, of like, where your grandfather's from, this is what the countryside is like. You're struggling. Well, guess what? You could probably go to this place and relax and whatever. And then we were asking about the medication question that she asked, like maybe it's similar to the fact that Olivia has made comments here and there about him going to therapy, about his medication, whatever. And I think that kind of all coincides with like what he wishes conversations with his mother were actually like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
That is a good one. And that was beautifully crafted. And how
very
well done.
Foundation breaking with the earthquake.
Yeah.
Him being the one to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The family foundation cracking.
That's that's what I'm seeing there. It's like, because then because as the episode progressed, it just was getting worse for Tony.
Mm-hmm.
He got shot at, hospital, all that stuff. So I think that's how I interpreted that.
I think also
the ghost. I think the ghost thing. You're also right as well.
Yeah, I think basically it's up to Tony to bring the family back together, because everybody else's head is in the wrong place, and he very much is a family man, even though he's involved in so many bad things. I just feel like he's the only one who can actually like bring people together and kind of stop the feud.
Yeah, I do like, the more I think about it, I do really like that symbolism that you pointed out, Davi, about just like the foundation and the cracking of the family foundation, because I think that was very pointed. Because right now his entire family foundation is like broken up. Like his relationship with his kids, his relationship with his wife, his relationship with his mom, his uncle, everything. Like it's all just like broken, and it feels like someone needs to repair it. And to what Charlie's point is, like, who can that person be? Probably only Tony, because he's the only one who like thinks things through.
Yeah, because he's the only one who's going to therapy, the one who's analyzing his life. Even though it's hard for him, I think he's getting these breakthroughs.
Yeah,
and it's fascinating to see.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I'm not completely convinced that he's had like breakthroughs that are going to be. I want to make that a caveat.
Yeah. You're right.
Some people might take that and be like,
no. He's still tapped in the head. No, we know Tony's tapped in the head. We know he's crazy. We're just saying there's been some little moments where you're like, oh, from there maybe you can grow. But we know the reality of the show.
He's had some small wins.
Right
along the way.
Exactly. And I think the therapy just points to really good like parallels of what's actually happening in his life, the things that we see going on in the story, what he talks about in therapy, all the what's happening behind the scenes. Like it all coincides very well.
Yeah, it does. Ooh, man, what a freaking episode. Charlie, one last question. Filmmaking wise, was there something that stood out to you shot wise for you guys that you were like, oh dang, that was nice?
The push-ins during the conversation with Isabella. Between him and her, and like just cutting back and forth, just slowly pushing in towards them. It was just, him really like them very much getting, just closer to each other in the conversation. And it just felt like you were leaning in and really listening in a moment where Tony wasn't listening to anyone or paying attention to anything or, so that was the one that stood out to me. And then kind of zoomed into her lips and her mouth, like just saying I forget what word she was saying, really slow. But clearly Tony is infatuated with the idea of just living the simple life, maybe living in Italy away from all this crap one day in Avellino where he's never been.
Right.
So.
For me, it was like, to me, it was just narratively the way they built this episode and how it worked with the story was just like perfect.
Yeah.
So
I think for me, I'd love to see how they built this episode. I feel like they had it in like, you know, different characters and like a structure of like a pyramid and how it all led up to one little thing.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think they had something at the center and they were like, how do we break everything away to then make this a full circle?
yeah,
I think
I feel like the center. I mean, they named it Isabella. To me,
Yeah.
the fantasy is
Yeah.
the center of it all.
the fantasy and then
Oh, question. The guys that were trying to kill Tony, one of them got away, right?
Yes,
Wes in a
One of them
Taurus.
got
in the
away.
Taurus that
Yes.
Christopher saw.
In the Taurus, yep. So they're gonna
try to
still
find him,
hunting.
and Christopher, I'm assuming, is gonna be the one who can ID him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What they're gonna be able to find out, another question.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We will see.
Will it lead back to Junior?
It's got him.
I think
Probably.
I think it narratively, I think it's gonna lead back to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching and listening to this episode. We hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like this video, comment your thoughts, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing and joining our community. We love you guys and see you soon for more Tony Tuesday. Peace. Y'all.